This is the largest species council meeting we've had. We kind of found a captive audience, so yay. I'm looking forward to having our discussions today, especially given the fact that this is the active week for the biosecurity workshop. That makes it really interesting because we have so much more input from all of you who've been participating this week. And we're looking very much forward to having time or taking the time to discuss issues that have been raised, solutions that have been proposed, and just concerns that we'd like to address. I know I thought I saw our Vice Speaker Ada here. I'd like to acknowledge his presence. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you are here representing your agency that is a active member of the council. We invite you to come up to the table and take your seat. I know we have some voting member partners who are here. So please don't be embarrassed. Just come up and sit with us. We're all pretty easygoing. And with that, I would like to offer my co-chair.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vincent Harris. I'm the Customs. At this point, I'm just representing Mike Borrego, who is the chair in the council meeting. And first off, foremost, thank you. And always important that we're getting up stakeholder engagement. And hopefully, many years to come, we improve the situation as far as invasive species is concerned. And it is a community effort, so hopefully we're able to like mitigate whatever gaps and challenges we have. But nothing is insurmountable. I know that we can work forward, and I'm glad that we have an active audience, so to speak, as far as the conference is concerned. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, and try to bring it up maybe through the conference or indirectly through us, just know that the Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency is always looking at trying to improve our collaboration and communication with our stakeholders. So we want to protect the island as well as help us make the community of Guam a much safer and better place to live. And happy New Year. Thank you.
I apologize, I failed to introduce myself. I always do that. My name is Chelsea Munya, the director to the Guam Department.
So, okay, so now that the meeting is called to order, I guess we're gonna go and start with roll call. Because in order for us to get the meeting going, we must have a quorum. All right, so starting off with Guam Department of Agriculture. Guam, yeah, so if I call out your agency, please call present. Guam Customs and Quarantine.
Present.
Port Authority of Guam.
Present.
Okay. Department of Parks and Recreation. Guam International Airport Authority. Mayor's Council of Guam. University of Guam.
Present.
Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District.
Present.
Southern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District.
Present.
Guam Homeland Security. All right. So we have a quorum. So that leaves 4 members absent and 6 members present. All right. I'd like to get also non-voting members. USDA Wildlife Services and APHIS PPQ. Governor's Office. Guam Environmental Protection Agency. Bureau of Statistics and Planning. NAVFAC Marianas. Department of Public Health and Social Services. Guam Chamber of Commerce. Okay. And lastly, Port Users Group Guam. Right.
Let the record show that both USDA, PPQ and Wildlife Services are
Yep,
present.
Are present, yeah. All right, so we've done roll call. I know we've had our opening remarks. Thank you, chairs. Now we need to review or at least have approval of last meeting minutes. Who would like to make the motion? Is that right? Is you make a motion? Yeah, so go ahead and take about 2 or 3 minutes to review the last meeting minutes. I'll go ahead and put up the QR code again. Here's the QR code for the meeting minutes. You can view it on your phone.
Madam Chair. Section 4 of the committee reports of the minutes. The education and membership. And then in parentheses, we have education and marketing. Kind of confusing. I think we need to clarify that. But I'm pretty sure it's outreach education. But we need to make sure. And also, if you assign agencies, the only agencies I have seen listed here is Customs, UOG, APHIS, and Southern Guam. And I have another listing which says that group for our health position is Customs, UOG, Wildlife Services, Southern Guam, Department of Ag, Mayor's Health of Guam, and Public Health. So we need to figure that one out.
That's interesting.
So we have discrepancies and
Yeah.
some of this did, we should go back.
We have the digital recording, right?
Yes. But do we not?
So maybe what we should do, what we should do is table the minutes and not approve them yet.
Well, I think what we do is, if we go through, what we can do, my recommendation, Madam Chair, would be to accept the minutes pending those edits. And what we do is we go back for the next meeting, clarify that and report that out.
Okay, but we should look through and see if there's anything else that requires edits.
Yeah, those are just my findings. Yeah.
So,
And then, that was B, and then C says marketing and budget. So I don't know whether we flip the words around. But once again, those, we need to go back and find out. Let's do some deep dive into the archives. We clarify B and C on committee, on the committee.
so your question is for B and C to have these edits.
We need to go through and find out the titles so that we can clarify the roles. Because educational membership doesn't sound like a committee, and neither does marketing and budgeting. Sounds to me like we might be flipping it around. It should be education and marketing, and then the membership and another one budgeting.
I do
But-
recall some of the conversation regarding marketing and budgeting. And that was a consideration put forth by one of the members that they would go hand in hand with each other.
Hmm.
Don't think we settled, but maybe it requires a review of the digital recording on specific groupings.
Yeah, let's go back, and then what we should probably do this, if there is any recommendations in order to fine tune
Yeah.
it, or to handle them. Moving on.
All right. Any other discrepancies or any other,
Yes.
would you like to bring up? Yes,
Not really a discrepancy, maybe a correction, the director, his last name is spelled P-E-R-D-O instead of with an A.
thank you,
Future reference.
thank you for that.
Another correction on C2, the co-chair is Chelsea Munia, not Chelsea Munia Brad. Don't small change.
Yep. That's okay, these are meeting minutes.
Under- Also, member reports, part 7. Now, I lost my.
Your laptop watching you.
Well, here's one. Where was that? I found a typo.
Oh, under D, University of Guam, the update of the regional biosecurity
Yes,
plan.
that was it. So that would be 7D I on the University of Guam, update that update PM.
Okay. No, that's okay. Thanks for that. Can I just share my screen perhaps? Or not? Okay.
Okay, if everyone's had a chance to review. We get a motion to approve the minutes subject to
Only that much.
correction.
Seconded by the.
Okay, all in favor?
Alright,
Carried. Where's it? Next agenda item.
All right, next agenda item. Next agenda items are member reports. You could go ahead and start with Guam Department of Agriculture. Well, I guess that's me. Member reports, for Guam Department of Agriculture, we are currently, so the invasive species, coordinator position has been announced as of January 3rd of 2025. And is set to close on January 24. So if you know of any potential applicants, please refer them. Yes,
Was there a link sent out to the group? Like the forward a link around?
okay. That could be our action item for today, so yes. I'll make sure to get that link sent.
On the new business, sir.
Let's see, other than that, that is the latest update. Chelsea, unless I'm missing anything.
Just that you're recruiting for another position. I think it's gonna be. I'm still looking to help. Positions.
Yeah, we still have, positions that we are looking to fill, but they are not officially announced. So until they are announced, and I would gladly be able to share that with gifts. So at least for now, on my action items, I will share what the positions will be announced, under Guam Department of Ag to, to the group. As you all may know already, we are in the middle of the biosecurity training. And I can table that for University of Guam to announce that. I believe other than that, that's all that I have for us, because I know we have, it's a lot of time to move forward. Yeah, anyways. Next member is Guam Customs and Quarantine.
And so, before I refer to, Captain Cruz, so Guam Customs is currently in, the capacity building, mode right now. If you guys are not aware, we've been actively recruiting already. This is our 3rd year straight on recruitment for the Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency for inspectors and officers to build our capacity. And with that being said, we are also looking at increasing the capacity for the agricultural detection unit, as well as filling in the gaps within the agency to include areas within the biosecurity and getting the appropriate number so that we can move towards enhancing our role at the border. Additionally, we are looking, we've got the approval for what is called a satellite inspection facility to be built down at the commercial port of Guam. And we recently received a grant of about, I think it's around $2 million to conduct the A&E study, which would help us in designing a multifaceted inspection facility in which we would be inviting stakeholders who have some type of regulatory enforcement authority with imports coming in, and that includes the Department of Agriculture. So we have a 4-member team who is currently stateside, meeting with members of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection to help us to facilitate and to help us have a better design of a multifaceted inspection facility so that when imports come in, we will be able to much more rapidly do screening and facilitate the movement of goods. And that's it as far as the what I have here. So if I may, Captain Cruz, are you going to be conducting this more of new business? Okay. So we'll defer that, but if there are any questions during this period, I'm available for.
All right, on to the University of Guam.
Good morning. Council. On behalf of the university. A couple of things that we are currently doing is the university is currently actively updating the regional invasive species plan for Micronesia and Hawaii. So we're doing it across Micronesia with all jurisdictions. This update is supposed to be done every 5 years. It's a bit behind, but we have made great strides. And actually, Guam is the furthest along of all jurisdictions. We're about 50% done with our update. But like I said, we're working with all jurisdictions, and hopefully, I know that EOD has been working on theirs. I'm not sure exactly where we're at, but I'm sure that they'll get back to us soon. Also, the College of Natural and Applied Sciences, Cooperative Extension Outreach, we are actively, we've already done interviews for our extension entomologist position, as well as our extension pathologist position. So we're hoping to fill those so that we can then be a resource to Guam and the region. And we also are starting the research soil scientist search. Is Ross here? I saw Ross. Okay, so I know that they have begun the process of the soil scientist position, because Dr. Galabi is retiring at the end of this year. So we're actively trying to do that. It is our college goal to increase our faculty capacity in order to fulfill the needs of the community. Right. And then, of course, like what has been mentioned, the Guam Alabaster Tree Workshop is currently ongoing. Many of us in here are sitting and admit to that. I do have to qualify something. Chris Resolver's report was sweet and short, not because he's not doing anything, because he's going on and tired. That the rest of us are. But I want to know that we're working very hard and diligent. Just for those of you who are not in the weeds with us, this Guam Island Basketball Workshop is built themed around building a better basketball framework for Guam. We are currently identifying strengths and weaknesses of our current situation, as well as making recommendations to fill identified gaps. One of the things that has come up, and it's important for this body to know, is that we have been asked to review and update the policies that govern this board. So what we will do is go through, make some recommendations, and then we will be submitting those recommendations to this board. What I would like to do is, under the new business, is submit a recommendation before the subcommittee for those interested in sitting on that particular review. And that's all I have at this point. Are there any questions? Are there any questions except for Matt?
Did Dr. Gould already?
Not quite yet.
There's only asked if we have something to follow. We want to do soil sampling.
We'll have a discussion.
All right, that's it.
Any other questions? So if some of you don't have anything to do, you feel free to just check me out and give you some work. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Next on the list is Port Authority of Guam.
So, my hope is, I understand, Paul Santos used to have it, so I'm taking over for now. His old task was to, I guess, facilitate and standardize operating procedures and draft legislation through the annual GCAs. I will get with them and see what exactly is his assignment here, but, for now, I have nothing to report other than what his old task was.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I was informed that I missed out on something and responded to this group. The new grant from USDA, they first came out. And also grants at the university received to do some invasive species work. Nothing further, would you mind? Presenting that to us?
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was
I can,
four that were approved.
yeah, I can air it on the,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You got it?
yeah, I can air that out. I mean, but
Yeah, well, I don't, well, some of them, I know they're approved, but I'm not really even sure what the project is. I know it's one.
That's why I'm trying to do
Dr. Miller's, tomato survey is called.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll throw him up first.
Roma,
Yeah. I can explain it.
okay. Well. Next on the list. We have the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District.
Chris, I'm gonna defer that to our district manager.
Okay,
Hopefully everyone, my name is Jenna Lynn. In regard to the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation's reports, we currently have the perimeter fencing grant, which is implementing perimeter fences for agricultural producers to fight the feral swine issues our producers currently go through. We've also applied for the Regional Conservation and Protection Program under NRCS, which is focused on habitat and land restoration efforts to include the invasive species and forest-based restoration. That is to be awarded this year. We also have an upcoming stewardship week in collaboration with the Southern Soil and Water Conservation District from April 27th to May 4th. So just giving early notice that we may be contacting you soon in regards to execute this outreach. We will also be applying for the VITA's qualifying certificate community contribution grants. And that is going to be based on a half-time minor series, which is basically having, or it's going to be basically media focused. So having our farmers as well as subject matter experts, as well as partnerships with the people in this room to create a series of how to do some traditional foods and including farmer focused locally grown produce that we will be sharing to the community. So including kids, and then if we can broaden that more, the better, but it's a series that will be creating on that. We're also looking to apply for the NOAA Coastal Habitat Restoration and Resilience Grant for tribes and underserved communities. So if anyone is interested in applying or discussing more about this grant with us, please let us know. We are also in the process of hiring 3 supporting staff for the district, a conservation associate, an outreach specialist, and an in-house admin assistant to streamline projects and work. And we're looking to apply for a solar grant to assist agricultural producers in implementing solar lights to increase farm security. That's all for the district's report.
Okay, next is Southern Soil and Water District.
Yeah, so as far as invasive species, we are continuing, just like the one, doing the perimeter fencing. We're hoping to get that thing, being awarded to farmers, very shortly. We are still working with our USDA partner there to our field of details. And so that's still ongoing, as well as our collaboration with the USD Wildlife Services. And we're continuing that tracking effort. And our third part of this is our own big rig pilot program that we've been working on the last few months. And so we set up a few traps in the telephone pole area. And I don't have all the numbers, but on some of those signs, we got over 30 pigs trapped already, and hopefully we'll be trapping within the next week. And the north telephone side, I think they have a bigger number because they're longer and they're running 2 traps. So I'll get that thing later. We are trying to do the Southern Guam is doing a video as far as invasive species in collaboration with the National Invasive Species Council. And we're hoping to get that thing done, I think, maybe next month. Yeah. And then we'll talk about the other one. Okay. That's all I have for the invasive species council.
I forgot to mention that, the Department of Agriculture, together with the Bureau of Statistics and Plans and all of our, partners and members who have assisted, the Guam Forest System Plan was successfully passed through the legislature that just ended. It was several years in the making, so it was a huge push. Christian Benitez, who's here representing the Bureau of Statistics and Plan, was a major contributing factor to that. He organized all of us, which anyone who tries to organize government agencies and workers know it's like herding cats. Trying to get us all in the same place, focused on the same thing, working through emails. It was, gosh, probably what, 4 or 5 years that we were developing this plan, and to successfully get it through the legislature was rigorous, and we're really grateful. But now we have this plan that designates conservation areas within the government of Guam's inventory, that we can, that allows the Department of Agriculture to assume administrative authority, that allows us to enter into conservation agreements or work together with our other partners in perpetuity for many of the parcels that we've identified. Meaning we can all engage in research with the University of Guam or GCC. With any of our partners, we can utilize the properties for recreational activities, training for any of our personnel, and conservation and habitat restoration, and not worry about having that land be turned over at some point without our knowledge to be used or developed. It's a wonderful accomplishment. It'll provide support for our habitat conservation plan with government lands designated for that. Allow us to enter into larger grant awards that require commitments of 20 or more years. So this really opens up a lot of opportunities for conservation, invasive species removal, habitat restoration with native and endemic species, and it just supports all of our work. So even to that, and even for Guam, because this was a great win, and we thank the legislature for pushing it through. So thank you, Vice Speaker. And thank you to BSP for guiding us through all of that.
Glenn, did you want to present or you want to leave it for? So,
Well, we leave it for Troy's.
oh yeah, so actually. He's up next, so. Yeah.
Yeah, so the PPA, the Plant Protection Act, was what we call the Farm Bill. It was awarded. They came out Monday.
Yep.
Tuesday,
Came out on Tuesday.
yeah, our Tuesday, then Monday. And I can't remember exactly how many we put in.
Yeah.
It was like seven or eight total. I can't quite remember it.
Yeah,
4 of them were awarded.
Yeah.
3 of them to University of Guam, which I believe they're gonna be ran through RCU and Dean, correct?
correct. Yeah.
And the
Let's go.
first one is Dr. Dula.
Yeah, so the first one is Soil Nations Commodity Survey, looking for various bacterial and viral pathogens that are of global concern that don't exist on Guam. Also one insect. So we're looking at different farms that are growing peppers, eggplants, tomatoes, and other seditious crops. The second one that's listed there belongs to yourself, Chris, and Dr. Claus. You guys want to?
Yeah, I can elaborate more on that. So, the second proposal Dr. Blas and I submitted, is a multi-state combined pathway survey for tropical host pests. We've had, multiple, pathway surveys for tropical host pests, I believe, for the past 2 or 3 years now. But now we've, actually extended it out to the CNMI and made it, more of at a multi-state level. Because if we are going to facilitate trade throughout, at least the Mariana Islands, we want to be able to know what pests are present. And so with that, this survey, really helps, fill that gap and fill that need. Yeah, that's all I have to say for that.
Third one belongs to,
Well, it's custom, but it's for the canine.
Right.
All this is just a continuation. We get it every year, but in this one, we're actually gonna send off 2 handlers to become trainers. Because our current 2 are being old. Getting close to retiring. Which I already talked to the training center and it's good to go. Just working through the logistics on when they're gonna attend, but it's good to go.
Sooner the better.
Yeah, the earliest possible date is in July. The earliest possible date. But actually, there was an earlier date, but it was now. And we didn't have the money in place. We could have went to the first group of the year, but the money wasn't in place yet. So now that it's been awarded, the next schedule, they have to go out so they can mirror CBP teams that are going through training.
Would there be a way to see if you can facilitate, like if people drop out before then,
Actually, this is a very special circumstance. The detector dog training center no longer trains trainers. They're doing this in favor of just us. They don't no longer certify trainers. And so that's why it took us a while to get it together. We had to find a trainer that was willing to do it. And James Mason always helped us out. Stepped up and we're gonna get it done this year.
okay.
And the last one,
the last one I submitted, I guess, for our new nematologist faculty member, his name is Dr. Richard Singh. So this is the first time that the University of Guam has brought on specifically a faculty member with taxonomic expertise to identify nematodes. Since he's brand new, he's starting to build his lab and build the capacity to do all the diagnostic work for any sand or sand aggregate quality material that comes into Guam. So those responsibilities, the pathology lab, where I currently and previously Dr. Claus used to do soil analysis for the results. We'll transfer over to Dr. Richards. Once he gets his lab built, and it's good that he got funding to.
That helps to be.
Yeah.
Very active.
Methods for soil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in total, yeah, Guam received, with all those projects in total, we got 322,000. I think slightly less than last. Yeah.
But comparatively to a lot of states, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, why they population wise, they got 1.7 million. So,
yeah,
percentage wise, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and this is aside from the cooperative agricultural pests.
Right, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
It's separate. I'm not sure if when the next farm bill.
Yeah, the next farm bill will be in June, so. Yep. Okay.
No, I
thank
mean
you.
the 5-year plan.
Oh, the 5-year plan. Yeah.
I think coming up.
Okay,
Next on the agenda?
all right, next on the agenda. So for non-voting members, we do have representatives from, USDA Wildlife Services here. Do you have any updates?
Yeah, sure. As the soil districts mentioned, we're continuing our projects with them for swine, control. Private landowners, we're working with the Department of Ag on their America the Beautiful Challenge grant. For the holidays, we were helping them with getting some of their last bit of compliance stuff together so that they can get the award, and then discussing putting together our MOA in order to work with them. That'll be a 2-year project where we can provide very in-depth technical assistance and training throughout both the animal control staff, that includes dogs as well as swine. And so we'll be providing a lot of training to various folks. Basically, they're gonna have dedicated folks that will be embedded with them almost. We want to think of it from your deep perspective. We'll have advisors out there really helping and being a POC for all those involved. And then the final one is we're hopefully working our way through the governor's signature phase on as soon as I get it back from my region. But the COCO's country snake work will hopefully get restarted soon. The MOA has been signed by Department of Agriculture, by me, and now it's going to get signed by my region. Hopefully I'll get it tomorrow. Then we just need the governor, and that'll get country snake work started again. Because there's a funding lapse between the end of this year and the next March. And that's all really from us as far as, Guam based, Guam and territorial based in city construction right now.
All right, next is ESP. Any updates from ESP? No reports. All right, next is NAVFAC, Mariana.
Good morning, everyone. Frank Alec for Steve Mosier. We're happy to announce the initiation of the Marine Resources Biosecurity Program. The initial baseline surveys are slated to start this year. All continuing biosecurity programs, all biosecurity programs continue to run as usual. That includes brown tree snake interdiction, cleanliness inspections at points of embarkation, on military cargo leaving Guam for the CNMI and vice versa, CNMI back to Guam. And work on the regional biosecurity program.
Right. And last, not least, port users. Reports, all right. Okay, that is it for member reports. Now we go with old business.
Chris,
Oh. Yeah. Basis species. That's in the, is that in the old business? Member reports, yes. Oh, yeah, member reports first. I apologize, yes. Well, we did do member reports, but now we go through the committees or is that? Oh, you're gonna report the fee fund, like a treasury report, is that right? Okay. I don't have, so currently, I don't have an update on the amount that's collected. In fact, we are behind on collection of fees. At least until October, so so we just got our November fees, transactions, or not transactions, but November fees have now been assessed, but invoices have not been sent out. So, so we are behind in sending out invoices. And I'm sure Port User Group is aware of that. Yeah.
Are we still, are you guys still gonna be, imposing the charge to all inbound containers?
Yeah, so since, yeah, that is, we did state that for old business, but, yeah, in accordance to the last meeting minutes. I did report that, you know, containers are not being charged, empty and transshipping containers were not being charged through the invasive species fee. And so we were in the process of working with that issue. However, there was a motion last meeting to refer to the topic to discuss this transshipping topic to the subcommittee for discussion. And it was second with that motion. And then the action, that motion was withdrawn. So then the suggested motion, or that the motion after the withdrawal was for the council to draft a letter through the Department of Agriculture addressed to the legislature and all senators to include the fees. And we needed to clarify the legal definition of what is considered entry into Guam. That was the last discussion based on our notes. Any discussion on this?
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, at that point, we had the peanut gallery, as they refer to themselves, will comment that this has already been discussed to death. I don't think anyone can reasonably disagree that at any point those containers are entering Guam. So I think we just need to kill this issue and start charging the fee. The transshipped containers still pose a risk. And that's the point, isn't it?
I would echo what the Richard said. We've already said that everything that comes in does that. And in this discussion that we have had over the past 2 days, I have a bunch of stevedores back there that will stand up and testify to the risk that those guys, that those containers pose as they are being unloaded. They're covered with pests underneath and on top. So is the risk there? The answer is yes. We're done. Move on.
I move.
And now I know that there was supposed to be a letter drafted.
I think we need to just squash that. Like, what's the point of the letter? The letter is asking for, clarifying a position that we've already decided on.
The minute should reflect that based on sound science and operations, it is the recommendation of this body that it be applied.
Agreed. sound science and decades of operational experience.
Okay. Any questions from the members? All right,
Do we need a motion on that?
What we need is a motion never to discuss this again.
Is the legislation support that?
We don't
Yes,
need-
yes.
Yeah,
Well, then we don't need to.
that's what she just said.
Yeah, so I will be, uh, cancel the prior motion to issue a letter from the council and close this discussion with our determination that based on sound science and decades of operational experience, we have concluded that the invasive species fee applies to transship containers
For the, under the best interest of the island.
and the region.
okay,
And I second the motion.
all right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Or any other discussion?
Okay, so that actually covers the old business. I'd like to move on with establishment of committees. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up the committees. That is under.
We're turning up there. It's getting long.
I'm asking to be on.
All right, so here are the. Council, Guam Invasive Species Council committees, that were formed during last meeting. The Governance Committee. The Education Committee. Finance Committee and Equipment Facilities Committee.
I believe Roland, had proposed a policy committee. Right, to review. Staff
That's,
document.
I don't know if there's this, a committee or just maybe a working group, because it's a stand up, do something that's gone. So that'd be a working group.
Why would, so why not just have it be part of the work of the governance?
Sure.
And then change education and marketing to education and outreach.
Okay. Can't do it with this.
So,
Just let the minutes reflect.
Yeah, let the minutes.
can you repeat that again, sorry? Education and outreach. Instead of marketing.
And we need to clarify when we have APHIS under that. Is that wildlife services or PPQ?
We signed up for the first one, PPP signed up. The government.
Okay.
Okay, so APHIS, wildlife, so just put wildlife services. Yeah.
So we'll be putting Aaron in some Instagram ads.
All right, I guess I should get it in, so.
That's what you get from the lady.
Yeah.
If we just throw people into committees, it looks
Um,
like. Because we have
Yes.
COG and DPHSS in there.
So the ones on the minutes were discussed during the last meeting, but this one was discussed during the workshop you held after the last.
Hmm.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's why there's differences.
With the legislature,
is allowed.
I would invite the legislature as a governance. Whenever we're forming or reviewing policy,
Is the legislature a member of? I know the Guam Chamber of Commerce and the governor's office.
But we do have the ability to call them in for assistance. So I don't know how we respect that. Because it would be, if there's something that we want to change or propose, it's better that we work with the legislature rather than give them something after the fact.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to say. Not much of it, you figure it out.
And then what's the science and budgeting? Does everything look fine? We can watch for this.
Anybody have any hard pain? Are you good?
Is anybody itching to be on another committee? As in more? No?
Don't be ashamed.
Is everybody fine with whatever committee they're on? Okay, those that move forward.
It's up to them.
Or was there an issue with having to designate that who's gonna take the lead in the committee to start scheduling meetings?
I think that's,
That's for them to figure out.
we should,
They should vote for what you, whether you.
Okay, so then I suggest since DOAG and CQA are on every single committee, we initiate the first meetings.
yes.
And then from there, the committees can decide who's gonna take the lead and the schedule. And we will do that within the next month to start the first meeting.
But you have to report at the next board.
South Fair. Co-chair. Thank you.
Okay, next in old business is the Guam invasive species management plan update. I will be the first to say there is no movement on that. But this is why we're having the our Guam health security training to make those recommendations. And I think with those recommendations that will be added to the plan. To me, I feel like we'll need a little bit more active members for those who are absent as well to be involved in this plan or in the update. Yeah, that's all I have to say. There's no working group. Now, should we table this for new business to form a working group to work on the Guam invasive species management plan?
That's up for discussion. In the next session.
Okay. So we shall table that for new business. All right, the Interagency Biosecurity Task Force Work Plan update. That is also known as the MOA between Guam Customs and Quarantine and Guam Department of Agriculture. So I know there are drafts that we have already drawn up between Bill Cruz and myself. And that draft has been finalized, so now we're sending it our way to the directors to now review that draft and have official signatures for the interagency biosecurity work. Any questions regarding? Yes, Dr. Blas?
I just have a question on the previous agenda item.
Previous agenda
Please
item.
finish up this one and then we can.
Okay. Any discussions before we move back to Guam invasive species management plan?
Great work on drafting the agreement. I mean, it's long overdue, so thanks.
Yes. And I think this should go should be at a good time right now because our MOUs with USDA APHIS have also renewed. Both on the Department of Agriculture side and on the Customs side. So I think this would be the best time to be able to finalize that interagency work plan. Okay, let's go ahead and move back to Guam Invasive Species Management Plan update. Dr. Goff.
that was the new business, we're gonna have that discussion.
I'm sorry.
We'll have that discussion under new business.
Oh, under the Guam Invasive Species Management Plan. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to new business. All right, so for the Guam Invasive Species Management Plan, let's go ahead and discuss.
So I read, just lost the recommendation.
Okay.
Not so much a recommendation, just as an observation, one comment is that the ongoing Guam biosecurity training workshop that's going on, this meeting is part of that training workshop. One of the activities that we're going through in the 4-day workshop is posters on the wall back there is guiding framework for invasive species management plans. And so we've got participants at the workshop filling out where from the different agencies, filling out where in the management plan they fall and where they should fall and they should be working with. They want to work with what they're doing in the invasive species management curriculum. So it is something that's being drafted as we speak and the workshop is going on. So I just wanted to highlight that for these.
And follow up on that, I would say it is highly recommended that all members should be at this table, review that framework and see where you play, where you should play, and who you should be playing with. And if you don't see your name up there, we'll fill it in for you. Okay, so now you want to talk about forming a group to do that?
Yeah, so form a group for yeah, under new business, yep. So make a motion to form a new group, or do we just go ahead and?
I think, Madam Chair, if I understand what's going on here, this point, is we're looking to make a motion to form a working group to, work on the water basis management plan update. And they will then, hear from them the recommendations, at the next meeting. And that work group is to be composed of or comprised of, I would say, the University of Guam should sit on that. I recommend that Department of Agriculture and CQA also, should sit on that. Are there any other council members or stakeholders that want to be involved in that? Right? Okay. Anybody else?
I think that, well, in my mind, that sounds like a solid working group.
So there's so should we make that?
So that
motion?
would be a motion to create a working group
Yes.
that will report out at the next meeting. And as the chairperson stated, because they're involved in that, they'll probably lead it, but they'll report out. Our primary groups would be the university, the Department of Ag, Hospital Quality, and those who volunteer. But it doesn't say, that doesn't mean that we will not be calling on you for your input. Thank you very much for volunteering in advance, everyone.
And then well, obviously, the working group will be incorporating the discussions that have been taking place for the last
Yes,
workshop days.
actually, for the past 10 years.
Yes. Okay.
All right, shall we move on to any other new business?
Yes. We do not do committee reports. We've already set up these committees and, we had some pre-discussions with the education and outreach committee. So I would just like to highlight some stuff and let you guys know, to know where we're going.
All right, go for education.
So for the education committee would like to report out.
We didn't close out the motion.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah.
So the motion was made. Anyone would like to second the motion to create the working group? Second. Everyone in favor? Aye. Okay. Sorry.
So the small group of the education committee met. We should have, where we are now, we have a couple of things that we need from the council. Okay, first off, we notice that we need to clarify the different committees. So we just, so it fits that. But we also need to, it is important for us to update the biosecurity plan that has to be done ASAP. The reason why is because that is the document for what we are to be working on, and that's our target. That should dictate what we spend money on and what we prioritize. Without that, we don't know where we're going.
Invasive species management funds.
The Guam Invasive Species Management Plan. Okay? Also, because it's education, what we'd also like to say is we're gonna be looking at logo development. And discussing a unique logo because we're gonna have to do branding. Also, if we're gonna be doing branding, we're gonna be doing outreach, we need to be looking for opportunities. So off the top of our head right now, are there any plans for Guam Invasive Species Awareness Week? That's one that has been done in the past, and it's probably one that we need to keep on the calendar and keep it as a regular thing that all of us tie into. Once again, that also be put in the Invasive Species Management Plan. And just to let you know, National Invasive Species Awareness Week is February 28th, 24th to the 28th. So it would be nice to run something that aligns with that. Earth Day is April 22nd. Earth Week is the 22nd. April 22nd to the 28th. Another opportunity for outreach and engagement. Stewardship Awareness Week is April 26th, 28th to May 5th. That's something that we have done stuff in the past. And of course, we are doing a lot of things in this council. And we might want to submit an abstract for the CIS conference and with the theme solutions for the future. And the abstract for that conference is February 14th. Are there any other outreach opportunities that this council would like to avail themselves to? Okay. We also are going to be considering doing a video campaign. We've been talking about outreach, about invasive species, biosecurity. So with some support from the council, we'd like to develop a video campaign. Once again, we need that invasive species management plan to tell us what that message is. Next steps. We need to identify key stakeholders to assist in updating the biosecurity plan, which is why I say thank you to everybody for volunteering. And that's all I have right now. I will say that one of the clarification that I needed was which of those two lists that I was talking about earlier was lead this for the committee, so I can reach out and get everybody together, as I will be calling a meeting. With the blessing of the chair,
Blessing.
okay? So that's my report from this. I'll talk to you about that later. Anything else?
Anything else? Right? So that's for the education committee. Anything on the finance committee, or is this something that we?
For the education and outreach committee, because all the things, some of the things you're proposing are for February, the next council meeting isn't until April. So what did you want to do in that meantime?
We're gonna be reaching out and seeing if anybody has, does anybody have anything they want to highlight? Yes, ma'am.
So, we're working on a cartoon video. So what it is it's of course talking about, biosecurity and our canine handlers. It's in support because last year we've had, 13 canine demonstrations from various schools, various outreach, programs such as UAG summer camps, the airport week, we participated in that too. So we've had numerous, every year we have, like I said, last year was 13, the year before was approximately 20. And that was 3 handlers in the previous year. Last year, again, it was, now we're up to 6 handlers and 1 trainer, and then of course myself. But just like what Chief Paris was saying is, I know I'm digressing, but we are also struggling with having enough officers to join our K9 program. But back to education. So what we wanted to do was do an outreach, and of course it's going to be approved by our director, that he approved the video, but but what it is I want to do an ambassador pilot program to where we work with BTAC. But it's just an idea, it's not concrete. But because in the past we've had students from the summer youth job from Department of Labor. We've had from the senator's office / governor's office, we had what Senator Munoz had, which was acting governor, acting lieutenant governor. So we've always been involved with children. So like I said, we were going to plan on having a cartoon video, and that would supplement the current biosecurity video of Don't Pack a Pass, which is on the website. And then it would also supplement the video that we have of our canine handlers receiving training in the mainland, Union, Georgia. And it also talks about the experts that we tap into, and that the outreach that we've done with, of course, biosecurity and partnership with Department of Agriculture, where we get their specimens, and we show it in these outreaches. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
I would like to add that from my perspective, what I imagine as we've done in the past is 1 week worth. So what we could do is do a highlight every day of a different industry or something. The low-lying fruit at this point would be past series coming out of the University of Guam and Department of Agriculture. So we should populate that. But I think it would strengthen us if we should show other things from other agencies. The stuff the Soil and Water is doing, the stuff that Wildlife Services is doing, the importance of federal partners like HSPPQ and the role they play with regards to importation. So what I'd like is for everyone to come up with one small idea, and we can do this to be we can populate this also on all of our websites and share it. Our Instagrams, our Facebook, and our websites. So let's figure that out. And I think we're going to be having some discussions about how to give this more structure over the next couple of weeks, but right now, just let's get through this quickly.
And can we also resurrect the don't pack a pest videos with the fire ant, snake, and cat?
And I'm almost guaranteed that DOD, every year, you guys during that time, do your invasive species video that you have. You have that one video that plays all the time. I think it's coming out of Cap Lawns. Is that one that shows the CRB? It's out of DOD.
Said it shows the rhino, you know,
Everything's just me.
I'm sorry, I thought it's. I
Is that the different?
I know that that's ours.
Oh, there's another one.
We show. An awareness video, but.
Right now,
well, gather your.
what I'm trying to do is I'm asking everybody to think about it, so that when I call you, you don't start, you already have something.
Well, we'll figure out which videos, while I'm with the Venus Committee and.
I'll be reaching out to all our partners. Okay,
Thank you.
so we need some of those pictures from the stevedores. Some of those pictures.
Anything else under new business? Let's move on to new pest alerts.
Currently, there are no new pest alerts that I'm aware of. But hold on. Let's go, hold on, yeah. Now go ahead and leave it for the floor to talk to, yes.
Anyway. So, in a collaboration between, someone from Department of Agriculture, from the Coral Reef Initiative and University of Guam through my lab, we've identified in the mangroves, specifically the gray mangrove tree, which only occurs in Sasser Bay. It's a seed boring beetle moth. It's a micro that is killing off the seeds in. So we recently sent it off to the systematic entomology lab at USDA, and we got the results back. Actually, then sending the results.
They're killing the mangrove seeds or what
Yeah.
seeds are they killing?
The mangrove, the gray mangrove tree seed.
Oh.
So the viability or the viability of the seed or sprouting percentage is between 1% to 2%. Actually sprout. So we collected samples this past few months and through USDA, we sent them to the systematic entomology lab, and it came back as a micro moth in the family. I don't know if I can't pronounce the word. Either way, it's a very rare and understudied group of micro moths, which even the national specialists in species. So it's something really special to Guam. And
Not in a good way.
yeah, well, not in a good way, but now that it's identified, and now that we know that it's contributed to the 1% reproductive rates of that tree, we can start looking at managing sure.
What is there theory as to how long it's been here? Has it always been here? Or is it new?
No one's ever looked at this phenomenon in the mangroves until you guys got your mangrove. It's coordinator, Kara, right? So no one, it's like we just identified and captured it out a few months ago. We'll work to figure out whether or not it's native or if it's invasive. All we know is that you only get 1% to 2% success in the seed germination because almost all the seeds have one of these moths in it that's eating up the embryo inside.
Are all fantastic.
They only occur in Shasta there, so that might be one reason why. You don't feel anywhere else.
So we have 3 kids and they. I'm not.
The gray one is net zero. Net zero. And let's see, okay, here, thank you, Ben. The actual naked, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this. The genera is either Leptozestis or Trichidoria. None of that means anything to anyone.
Okay.
It's a
Um,
micro.
It's a micro mold, so it's a small moth.
Okay, so we'll look forward to more information and updates and be a little bit more status and leave our meeting today. Thank you.
Any other pest alerts from Aphis Wildlife Services or Guam Customs? Yes.
Sorry, it's all over, Chris, but, I'll think that, was being, kind of, to November 10th. November 24th, 26th, and 10th. The seasonal live planning courts. Presenters that came from California, the body identified as slugs. Whenever, so that goes shipment. And I don't want to say what percentage was. Also had another set of presented came from the same nursery. And business slugs. So all in all, it's 147 boxes that were destroyed at the Casani's expense. So stuff like that was coming in, come up to with a high to season.
Well, thank you guys for catching that.
From California, right?
Yes, sir. So I asked the consignees and the other consignees if these persons they're getting from the same nursery factory. And they said they were. So I asked, have you guys ever visit that place? In your time to see what it's like, because if one consignee gets it, and another consignee buys it from the same, it's gonna come out positive again. So I was asking, please go out there or from your nursery people that set up you here and finding it.
If we're finding multiple consignees or one consignee, but on numerous occasions from the same off-island vendor, are we allowed to put out warnings? To alert them, or that this vendor has numerous incidents of potential biosecurity risks?
I mean, I've never done any, issued out any warnings, to the consignees. That's the question. Oh, Glenn?
No, I just have a comment. So my understanding, it's more of a question for, my understanding is that all the information that you guys collect, whether or not something is destroyed or whether or not there is a seizure or you find a pest on, that's all confidential. Like, if they're all getting the same test from the same vendor, it's kind of hard to tell the other consignee, okay, you know, we found this on the same shipments of the same stuff, same nursery. You guys can't share that, or you guys can share that?
Well, we have to do our diligence in protecting the privacy of public and private business owners. But in collaboration with the Department of Agriculture, we could put out a general notice and generalize the incident without naming names. And just come out with the specifics on what we found and put out the notice that way. Because that's how our agencies work. Whenever we get a notice, like from those that we regulate or enforce some type of action on, I'll use agriculture as an example. There's a change in the classification for the enterability of a certain food coming in. We get a memorandum from the Department of Agriculture. Our director will look at it, concur it, and then it gets disseminated to all the field offices and the field officers that way. So in the same line of thought is that we could do the same for the classifications for any of the importers coming in, just to be on the safe side.
So if you're, so I understand absolutely the need to protect the confidentiality of the consignees, but does the same apply to identifying the vendor that has been posing the risk, or can we send like a notice to the
We can send a
vendor?
notice directly to the vendor of the violation or the incursion. To let them know that it was specifically their import that came in that we found or discovered the festive package and whatever the situation is. So yes,
I think that would be good, and then we can, so that we share that with our import people as well, so that they're aware of that vendor risk, so that when they see a permit coming through, you know, they make sure to inform the consignee, you know, watch out, not to destroy shipments from this vendor, just be aware or ask the vendor more questions, just so that we're increasing everyone's engagement in that process. I don't think we don't need a motion on that. It's not a council action.
no,
which is-
it's an
That's
interagency.
information.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Any other pest alerts? Or interceptions, because that was an interception. Okay, so moving forward to discussion and comments.
Discussions or comments? We are kind of close, so we are over time. Just so you know.
We need to start recognizing how long our meetings are actually.
Yeah,
And Laura is already doing that.
yeah.
Well, because I wanted to ask about conversations that you guys have had for the last couple of days. Given that you've had so much more of our you know, people who are in the field, on the ground, not necessarily at our meetings, but you've been have together for these last couple of days. Are there any insights or information that's worth sharing with the council that we may not have the privilege or opportunity to hear otherwise?
Sure, I'm gonna go ahead and share the mentee survey that's been taking place the past 2 days of the workshop. Just a moment. Let's load up. So this was day one. We've had folks from the regulatory side, academia, federal government, both on the regulatory and enforcement. We've had private businesses, which is maritime cargo, and air cargo, and also non-government organizations that attended the workshop. And we've had some insight on how much the participants know about the state laws. 57% said just a little bit. And then same goes with the federal laws. And then communication among the agencies. A lot of it was kind of a little bit below neutral. So the first one was government of Guam agencies communicate effectively across local biosecurity mandates and operations. That was a little bit, well, that's actually, sorry, that was about the average, 2.7. 1 being strongly disagree, 5 being, 5 being strongly agreed. Next question was federal agencies communicate effectively with state agencies across federal biosecurity mandates and operations. Participants voted that 2.7 on average, this is on average, the majority were a little bit above the neutral agreed status. And then lastly, stakeholders and industry partners are aware of Guam's biosecurity local and federal mandates and operations. And that received a lower score, which headed towards the strongly disagree side. So, yes, question?
I have a question, express. So first, that's an awesome. Of the numbers that are there, those are people weighing in, right? The 27, 24.
Yeah,
Is
2.7,
all of the people that were in, and sitting in that conference taking the survey,
correct, yeah.
like 100% of them, 90% of the groups.
No, it's a 2.7, 2.7, 2.4. She was asking if that's the number of people participating, 27, 27, 25.
I see.
No, no. Yeah, so this actually takes the average, between participants that strongly disagree or strongly agree. Strongly disagree is a 1, strongly agreed is a 5.
So
So,
basically, in summary, that means we need to improve our communication across the board.
correct. All right. And then, there were many biosecurity recommendations for improving Guam's biosecurity. And there were a lot of great answers. There were also a lot of answers that I had in question. So I'm gonna go ahead and, so I know it's a lot to read here, but then I condensed some of those answers down. And added it to day 2 mentee survey. And again, I wanted to capture the participants, not necessarily participants, but those participants who are working in within what profession along what we call the invasion curve. So if you know of the invasion curve, we have prevention, eradication, containment, and management. And so majority of us work in prevention. But also, many of the answers were multifaceted, meaning there were multiple answers across. Each participant were working across the spectrum. Thank you. And then so I took those recommendations from day 1 and threw it into a mentee survey for day 2. So of the recommendations for improving Guam's biosecurity regarding the Guam Invasive Species Council, I ranked in order of priority. And the top priority right now, so I'll list the top priority to the last. The first priority was to turn the HISC meetings into action. What does that necessarily mean? So everything that we discuss, I think feel like should be an action item. The second was invasive species funds should be controlled by HISC. Which is actually stated by law in chapter 70. Third one was HISC chairman should be voted in by members. So maybe perhaps a rotation. Maybe perhaps a yearly rotation for a HISC chairman. And lastly, the last priority was reconfigure HISC.
What does that mean?
Good question. What does that mean? Reconfigure as in add more members. Take out members that have not been active. Well, I don't know what
Took away from that.
Yeah.
Was the makeup of that council.
Wasn't that a great message?
No,
Let's increase the size of.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Increase it a little to see the question.
Oh, the question, okay.
That was the difficulty in answering right there, was not knowing what exactly is meant by.
yeah,
Yeah.
but those were the ones that popped out when we asked what needed to happen.
Yeah,
And so it was like this, yeah, these were the suggestions.
these were suggestions and everything that was suggesting on the Guam Invasive Species Council, I clumped it into this particular question. Okay.
Yeah.
So my point was that when we were ranking them, like reconfigure this, if I think it should be done by the feds totally, or it should be only local, I'm just making stuff up here as examples. No, that's not.
What she means
Just-
that,
you don't know how to rank
is
it.
reconfigure could be different from what someone else
Yes.
thinks it is, so it's hard for her to rank.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
it
don't know
could be
what that
pretty
really meant.
generalized, yeah. Which probably was why it was the last priority at the bottom, so,
Wasn't
Um,
it 1 of 10?
oh, well, yeah, let's go further down. Okay, all right, so here are the recommended actions for the use of the Guam Invasive Species Fund. These rank in order of priority. Oh, yeah, sure, sorry, I apologize.
Hey, Chris,
Yes,
Todd,
all right. So, I mean, this can be reported out to, so this will be reported out to the participants and also guests,
to the,
okay? And then, yeah, and then we can have discussion, yeah, because, yeah, we are out of time. We're 15 minutes past.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we go ahead and, announce, so last,
Chris, could you just open up the last slide? I was gonna take that. quick picture.
oh,
The last-
And zoom into it.
He was also gonna set it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, I'll actually send it out. It'll be sent out as a PDF.
Well, actually, everyone calls me.
Okay, Roland?
I forgot that there was, how many members are in this room right now? 1, 2,
Only six
okay, we're still,
6 voting members
are
and
present,
two
okay.
two
Um,
non-members.
One item that needs to be brought up under new business, I apologize, but I forgot to do that. Is, we have meetings for the rest of the year. So I would like to propose a motion to, approve funding for meeting announcements for 1 year. So that Chris doesn't have to chase people and look for, ways to pay to publish the ads. Is that's what we need.
It's not so much the funding, because we have that, it's the getting it through procurement
Yeah,
and.
So if we do appeal now, and it's good for 1 year, we do it once.
Yes, but it's just that the appeals have been taking forever for us to get through.
So it's got 3 months to get appeal. And I'd rather he do it once than 3 times.
No, that's what we always do that. That's always the intent, that's always the try.
I make a motion to approve a purchase order to pay for media announcements of all the list meetings for 1 year.
Or fiscal, the council is in control of the budget. You can make a motion to do my question. That's it.
So who's that?
You don't need a-
So Chris, right? So Chris, you can't just appeal for 1 year?
No, there's government procurement, it goes through GSA.
But you can't,
We've initiated the requisition, it's in process, it's a matter of,
but it's
Them
appeal for
accept
1
it.
year.
yes.
Yes, correct. It is a 1 year period. Yeah,
We talking to, I'm sure we're not the only government organization that has this same issue, because procurement is government-wide issue. It would be, move us to talk to our senators and have them change that local government law to the more modern ways and no procurement.
Yeah.
To,
Yes. We've
you know,
done that
change
before.
it so that we can announce a meeting legally.
We'll try again.
okay, Glenn, go ahead.
If I may make a suggestion. If it's going to be concern for you guys, we can, make a motion to take away the responsibility from a government law agency and pass it on to a different council member that can better use their funds quicker.
For the announcement.
The conservation districts can deal with that, GOG can deal with that. It doesn't have to be Boston.
Yeah.
That pays for that.
The conservation district is currently paying for doing that right now.
Yeah, so like either
So let's
assign it
make
to
that
them,
motion. Yeah.
or we can assign it to GOG and we'll take that responsibility.
So shall we make that motion to,
But is the motion necessary if they're already?
oh, they're already doing it?
No, they come. Like, if GOG takes it, I'll take responsibility.
We can maintain. Go by year.
Well, let's make a motion
Okay.
to rotate by year, for a council member to take up that, the responsibility for
Public
the
meeting and.
public meeting announcement.
So we moved, second, 1 second, that we're the same age,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
I would also like to put up for consideration that we make our meetings 2 hours instead of 90 minutes, since we continually run out of time.
All right.
We can't have any, like, good discussion if we're constantly rushing through them.
Okay, so let's, so director makes the chair makes the motion to, for the next meetings and future meetings, to be 2 hours long. I can't make that motion, director
I
has.
second motion.
Okay, second motion by University of Guam, all in favor? Aye,
Okay, let's try it again.
oh.
Something
Motion,
wrong, that's the motion, do the motion second.
Okay.
okay, all in favor?
Now I change my vote.
All right, so next quarterly meeting is April, tentatively, dated for April 9, 2025. And the fourth quarter meeting will be July 9, 2025, okay? Chair, would you like to adjourn?
Meeting adjourned.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor? Yeah. With that, meeting adjourned.
Oh, make sure, they're welcome to stay for lunch.
Yeah, everyone, you guys are welcome to stay for lunch.
Time is